everybody, and this is Connie Skaggs, and I am a Creative Memories Advisor. And I wanted to come on and do a video. I haven't done one for like over a month because I had traveled and I had several things. I had my Croptoberfest event, and so I was preparing for that. All of that just to say I'm sorry, and I have missed seeing you all too. So, and hearing your comments and you all making comments on my video. So, hopefully we can go and through and do a couple things today. I'm just going to show you a couple. It has to do with a busy paper. I kind of like taking busy paper and then spreading it out and making it work. And this has been inspired by Bev DeBono and Noreen Smith. So it's not a brand new ideal, but maybe the way I teach it, it will be easy for you to use. And so let me go ahead and change my camera. I am from Latson, South Carolina, and if you do not have an advisor, I'd love to be your advisor. You can go on my website. That is all in my YouTube, on my YouTube channel, whenever I put it in the comments. And you can go by my name, or my zip code is 29456, which is right outside of Charleston. And so anyway, but if you do have an advisor, and you see something here you like, go on their website and order from them because they will appreciate it very much. So we got that housekeeping out of the way. So let me change my camera. And so you'll see here, this is my sketch that I've done from this. And this is a 12-inch piece of paper, and we're going to cut two 3-inch strips. And then out of this 6-inch by 12-inch paper, you cut it in half and you cut one diagonal from one way and one diagonal the other way. And I'll show you why. Now, I already have these things cut. And so I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about it today. And so you need 3 base pages. It can be regular pages or it can be cardstock if you use top loading. These are some of the match. You'll want about 10 4x4s and 2 4x6s. And that will be able to use your, photos. So let me go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Also, I would be using my 12-inch trimmer, and I've done a little bit with the new blade. It's called the Twist blade. And so you'll get to see that. I don't know whether I'm going to use it or not. I've done a couple little strips, and of course, you always, do it in your housing here. You take this one out, you put this one in. That's how easy it is. And, and then whenever I was lining up my paper, I just go off a little bit because I wanted it to be curvy on both sides. So I want to get that first cut first, just about the 1/8 of an inch. And then I moved it over and I done these two as a 1/2 inch. And so we'll try that a little bit and see if that will work and that color will work. I think it will, but, uh, we'll go from there. But I'm going to show you some of the designs first. And so, anyway, I done one with the Christmas paper. And so these are the diagonal cuts, and you put them on each side of the piece of paper. This is the white starburst, no, Stardust cardstock. I really like that. It's got just some little bitty dots in it, not bright white and everything. This, I just used my cranberry cardstock, and I cut 4 of them. Now, I can decorate that up any way I want to, and I'll show you one that's maybe a little more decorated. I had some with some old paper, and I decided not to show you that one because it's not something you can get. You can get this right at the moment. And so then those other two 3-inch by 12-inch pieces, I put them on these 2 pages out on the side. And then I had some other Christmas paper that I decided to use. I used a couple mats. This one is my title, and this one will hold a 4x6 picture. These are 4x4 squares, and I just thought that red kind of popped. This is the green, which I forget what's on the back side of that. I think maybe the holly, or maybe the holly's on this one. I don't remember which one. And then I had some room down here to decorate. And, and it's easy to, do a tree down here, Couple of the reindeer would be really cute. I could actually put Santa here by the tree. I mean, there's several things that you could pull from as far as that goes. You could use some of the embellishments, maybe a present by the tree. But look here, you've got these too that matches those. And so that might be something you want to use. Magic of Christmas might be something else you want to use. A little Holly Jolly Christmas. Maybe put Santa by the Holly Jolly Christmas. So there's several ways, and I didn't even get out the stickers. So, I don't put these on usually until I've finished the page and I've put my pictures on. And being that I'm going to be working with some Christmas pictures, I like to go ahead and have some pages made ahead of time. So just showing you those. There were several things, and you can rearrange these however you want. If you had some, like these mats, this one was a taller one. So if I would have wanted to change that and put that there and then turn this one around, and these two could have went the other way or something. So, there's several ways to use our mats and things. So this would be one of the pages. And this one here. So this is kind of like a title page, so it works really well. And so slide these over here someplace. And then I've done it in the Grateful Harvest. And this one, I punched out some extra of the acorn and I offset 2 colors of the mats. And so, anyway, doing that, and I made these, and you have to trim them. And then I punched out some yellow ones and took out the centers here of the leaf, of the acorn leaf, and was able to put those in those little slots there. So again, I built on that Stardust white, and it was just something of preference because I wanted things to pop and stuff. So that would be one. And then this is the other one. And I've rearranged these mats a little bit different. I've done the 3 mats, done a darker one. I've done the acorns each side of this. So it gave it a border up through there. And so, we have stickers that you could use as a border. You can just use a piece of cardstock. You don't have to put any border on it if you don't want to. And I didn't on the other one, on the Christmas one. We're going to check about the one we're going to make. And I think I'm going to use this kind of layout on the other one. I really like the 4 on this diagonal and using these 4. And one of these could be your embellishments. It could be your journal box, and with a little bit extra embellishments on it. The Grateful Harvest had several kinds of embellishments, especially like the tailgating, and it had the pumpkin patch and farm, like where you'd be doing harvest festivals and things. So lots of fun there for your fall pictures. And so all of these are 4x6 and 4x4s. So, and still down here, I've got room to do stickers or a little bit of an embellishment cluster. I could do a title up here, on either side. So just letting you know. But that's a way to use this busy paper because your pictures get kind of caught up in all of that. So a couple of things I want to talk to you about. And whenever you go to cut it, you want to be sure that when you're cutting it, everything is kind of laying in one, if you have directional paper. Like this is kind of directional, and not everything. It's kind of could be upside down. But if you wanted it, I would want it going this way because I've got more pie pieces and pumpkins that are headed that way to me. This one here is definitely, even though it's pretty busy and it probably wouldn't matter too much, but I wanted all my coffee cups. All the coffee cups are headed, standing up because you don't want your coffee and your latte all to spill out. So anyway, it doesn't matter too much about the leaves and the acorns and the cinnamon sticks, but these little cups here, I would want them standing up. the things. And see, and this is kind of busy on this side, but it's more of a muted, so it would work with pictures easy, you know. But your pictures would get all kind of caught up here. Same thing with this. We love the pies, but at the same time, that would be a little bit hard to do unless you was putting some neutral colors on it and things. So, let's see, I just, well, this is not a too good a color, but anyway, there's just a little beige there that I thought would work. But let's go ahead and you all know how to cut 2 3-inch pieces. And so, and then I've already cut some mats. And so, and you know, this could come over just a little bit if you wanted it to where you'd have a little bit of an edge. Same thing on this side. You can do it all the way to the edge. And these are the 2 pieces that I just had cut in, you know, 3-inch pieces. So that's like this first cut here, this one and this one. And so I've cut those 2 already. And so, you know, whether I put them there or whatever, but remember the one, it showed, it had one here and one here. It had this one kind of overlaid on it, and then a couple more this away, I believe was how my beige one was going. So you can see that, I guess I'll have it under here. So this one's very similar to this layout. So all I've done is just kind of pulled in some things. Now I didn't put, you know, I'll show you here. I do have the yellow, but I don't have any dark colors in there with that right now and stuff. So, you know, that looks okay. You've got leaves and things, and you could do that. But I also thought about just this. I didn't particularly like with this bright, we have, you know, a lot of custom custom mats. I mean, not the mats, the laser borders. I'm sorry. That is I should have pulled them out and I didn't. So anyway, we had, you know, we've got the laser borders too, but they seem to be very colorful and bright and all of that. So, you know, now I'm not sure that I really like this green. I do like the look of the finished look on that. And then this would be kind of offset here, you know, kind of like that. I like the yellow too and things. And, but this might, you know, you could pop it. You could use brown, you could use pumpkin, you could use, you know, well, this is already kind of the beige, so, you know, but I thought, okay, that one might be work. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'll put these together and before, you know, I finish and everything. So, but I thought that was good. And then this one, I'll show you. And this would be how this is. And so you can see, this is the one piece, six, this is the 6 by 12 inch. And of course, whenever I go to cut those, you can cut them right on here. And of course, where the dotted line is, and I'll make a copy of this and put it as in the, try to do it in the video, but this is what you would cut. And so when I was doing that, you know, I would take, and since I wanted those dots, you know, the dotted line is going from the top here to the bottom here, I would line it up right on the line. That first line, the first black line, is where you'd want it. And remember your sight line that fits very perfectly, that shows you exactly where it's going to cut, and then you can cut your paper. And so when you cut it, just set them over to the side until you cut this other piece. But this is what I want to show you. The reason this works is because this would go up in this corner and this slides to this corner. And this one here, you got one down here in the corner, this one slides up here. And that gives you your, definitely your triangles. Now you could bring these in a little bit so that you see that, and that would work and give you a little bit of an edge. I kind of like that. I would just overlap these little corners and they'll be fine. And so I like giving that about 1/4 of an inch. It don't even have to be that much, but you could do it about 1/4 inch in all the way around and see how that just makes that not look so busy. And so what are we going to do? I'm going to use beige on this. This is a pumpkin. And so I'm going to use the beige on the bottom here. And I don't know why I've got a piece that's cut bigger than it needs to be. I don't know why somebody is trying their best to get a hold of me. So, but one piece is just a little bit bigger than the other, so I need to trim that. And of course, it's easiest to use our photo trimmer. And so one of these sides is a little bit off. So it's that one there. So that makes it 4x4. And so now they all match. So I don't know why sometimes I get in a hurry and I cut too fast. So, but these would go, and then what I would do is I pay attention to where the center is. You could mark the center if you wanted to, and then I just kind of offset it a little bit so we can have that nice corner. And of course, I'd want these down a little bit because I want that to be, you know, to kind of be centered too. Because you've got 4, you know, angles there. And so then there you would go with that one, and that tones all that bright paper down, and then you've got another page. So, and I knew this was going to be a quick video because I didn't do a lot of cutting. I have made this several times. I don't need another page made like this. So I hope that I have explained this very well to you in the way that you would cut. And so I appreciate it so very much that you would try to use some of these. Please give me a comment. Tell me what you liked about it. And how many times do we have a busy paper? And like I say, if it's directional, like this one here was, see, I made sure that whenever I cut these and pulled them apart, the lines were all going the same way. Do they match exactly? No, because this one is part of this one and this one is part of this one. But going across the top and going with the lines, it didn't matter too much because your eye has a tendency to just look which way. But if you had lines going this way and then all of a sudden these were going up and down, that would be way too busy for your eyes. You can't focus on that. It doesn't matter that this is a white line and this one's a dark line. You know, it doesn't necessarily matter about that as much as it does about that everything's going vertically or horizontally. You could have done them either way. Just think of that before you go to cut it. And so, and that's the reason this sketch is so very important. You get real good at it, and you can fold it over, cut it one way. You have to remember to unfold it so that you know which way that they go. I would say do it one at a time until you get used to it. And some of them don't matter as much, like this one didn't matter as much, other than it's very busy. And so we want to be able to separate it. So hopefully you like that today. And I appreciate you watching. So let me go back to my screen. And I will finish one of these and let you and take a picture of it so that you have that as your first picture. And I might just stick a sketch right on top of it, so at least you all would be able to see that and try to zoom in and for my sketch I drew out. I appreciate it so very much, but this is Connie Skaggs from Latson, South Carolina, 29456. And I'm on the CM website, Creative Memories website. So you just go there, put in my name, Connie Skaggs, Skaggs. And I appreciate it so very much that you watched today. And please like my videos if you could, subscribe to my channel. Those always help me to see what's happening, and get your friends to subscribe to my channel too. It's very easy, but it's just Connie Skaggs YouTube. That's Connie Skaggs. I appreciate it, and we will see you all later. And I can't wait because I know I've got a box coming tomorrow, so let's hope I can show you some of the things that have come out. I appreciate it. See y'all later. Bye.